hours. Anyway, I just wanted to give a follow up to my video I did on Bernard Riley after hours. First of all, I have no problem with Duke. I have no problem with having a conversation with Duke. The thing about it is you understand that shit's got to be kept real when it's got to be kept real, and sometimes I'm passionate about it. It is what it is. I'm not here to make shit personal, and that is what that is. I'm not trying to throw. It's not about him personally. It's about the points and the arguments, and that is what that is. I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of dudes that you have this kind of post Kevin Samuels blowing up wave of sector, and that shit in and of itself is almost its own sector with its own audience. You have a whole bunch of people that's coming on to YouTube, a lot of dudes that are coming in with their own experiences. And a lot of this stuff is being, I don't want to say regress, but it's really going back to the 1.0 days where you got folks that they're really trying to work their way through this stuff. And it's like people are not understanding the seriousness of where we are now, and the fact that these conversations just not are not new. You're just new to it. So a lot of the solutions that get brought up are solutions that have been brought up years ago. And if you look at a lot of videos from in the past, these things have been addressed years ago. This stuff goes in cycles. So, when I talk to a lot of these people are avatars. It's not really about them personally. It's about the points they bring up, like whether it's him, E Black, whatever. And that is what that is. So with that being said, y'all see the title, y'all know what it is. This is an interesting title. What does it mean? What it means essentially, because I want to get to the point right now. What it means essentially is if you could choose between calling the cop, calling 911, or if women could choose between calling 911, but fuck that. But if you could, let's say you're in a situation, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be violent crime. It doesn't have to be you're being robbed. It doesn't have to be anything. It could be any reason you would call the cops. If you could pick between calling armed police and non-armed police, which one would you pick? Now we know when it's called, we know that the United States is not Europe. The United States is not the UK. And the UK, for the most part, I believe their cops are not armed. We know the US is not operating like that. That's one thing universally, culturally. We're not calling unarmed police. Shout out to Ray Hanna. Y'all know what time that is. But I want y'all to really think about that for a second. Because that's essentially what a lot of black men try to ask other black men to do. What you're essentially saying is you want somebody to enforce shit or to be leaders without any enforcement power. That's essentially what you're saying. What you're essentially saying is you believe that you can produce at scale in the black community, and when I say at scale, I'm not talking about changing the black community. I'm talking about any sector, whether it's the upper class, middle class, whatever. You're saying that men need to be so strong is that the women just have no problems. Therefore, they have no ability to just resist. And that's not true. You can look at Will Smith, Sierra. You can look at dudes that are apex in multiple verticals: apex physically, apex socially, apex genetically, apex with accomplishment, and apex as far as monetarily, and yet they still go through problems. Shaq still and went, has Chinese, and it's always, oh well, the dude's fucked up. But for Robert Smith, it doesn't matter. There's always some excuses, and we make it seem like it's always some excuses. So my point is, the problem is women were never meant to have this much fucking freedom. But this is what people don't want to talk about. When you give women this much opportunity to make a choice, they're gonna choose the wrong shit more than they choose the right shit by the law of averages. Every culture understands this, and therefore, every culture where this is allowed, you generally get this problem. The issue is most races are not client races. Most women do not have the ability to completely just go use another group to undermine their situation with their men. And the thing about it is, what you're essentially dealing with is your women being able to use another group as their enforcement arm to absolve themselves from dealing with your authority. It doesn't matter what the men do. That shit is always going to generally go one way with that ability. Unless, especially when you add in the fact that our culture has been torn down, which is an added element to incentivize that. But the thing is, what dudes want to say, well, you got to understand the influences. Men have the same influences, but then we're going to counter the men's influences with that doesn't matter because men are supposed to be leaders, but you're supposed to lead without enforcement. Could you imagine telling a commanding officer that he's supposed to lead people without the ability to enforce what he says, or not having the power of the system behind him? Could you imagine a corporation saying that? You have to lead these people that you don't get to fire or you don't get to write up. Nothing works that way. That is not how that works. It's not. And what you're essentially saying is, dude, this is another way of dudes just saying alpha your way through it. That doesn't work that way, which is why, and in this case, we're really talking about social consequences. There are no social consequences. And you're even seeing that amongst white people with the rising divorce rate. There are no social consequences. They're not. Women do not. Women are going to do, if there are no social, if there's not, if one thing about having kinetic consequences, but if there are no social consequences to their actions, they're going to do shit that's going to defy the group. Look at white women fucking black men. White women did it less. Jane Fonda said this. Jane Fonda said, I wanted to fuck Marvin Gaye. I didn't because of the social consequences that would have been connected to that. She said that recently. And look at what white women do now as a result of this liberalized no social consequences. They're more open about shit. That doesn't mean, oh, well, white men have still done what they've done for white women. Yet there can be no excuse about, well, white men haven't done what they've done as a group. You can't make that excuse for white men. Not to the extent that white women are do what they do. See, when you reverse that argument doesn't hold up. It just doesn't. So if it's, well, black men have failed as a group, okay, then let's compare it to the group that these very women would not say have failed. These women that these other black bitches want to be like, the myth of white womanhood. And yet, people can say, oh, well, they're not marrying black men. It doesn't matter. Marriage is not a validation piece for men. Sex is. So when women say, well, they're fucking you, but they're not marrying you. Like just like that thing Chaz did when she debunked that 92% biracial article. It doesn't matter because the truth is these women are choosing to have babies. These women have the power of abortion. They're choosing to have babies with black men. Black, like at the end, like even if that article is true, that's not going to stop non-black women from having sex with black men. Let's say these women believe that article and they say, okay, we black men are bad fathers. That don't mean black men are bad fucks. I mean, they're going to do the same thing black women do, which is still fuck black men. They're going to fuck the dudes they're sexually attracted to. That's what that is. They just might not have kids with them. And truth be told, white women already kind of have a difference of opinion. That's changing a little bit, but for the most part, white women already understand it's still enough of a hit to their white privilege card that unless they're really in for it, they're not going to have a kid with a black dude, but they'll still sleep with him. See, and black women, they share that article because they think white women, it is funny because these are the very same bitches that are gonna say, "Well, they fetishize you." Well, if they fetishize you, that means they already don't want to have kid with you. But at the same time, that's not your real problem. Your real problem is the sexual access component because your power as a black woman is predicated on you being able to control sex. The reality of the situation is the way women use sex against men is some real abusive shit. It really is. It's very much a control mechanism. That's why Amira said on the Lapeef show when she said a woman is really not supposed to deny sex to her husband. That's a very Middle Eastern approach. Those women got quiet because you really essentially take all their power away when you do that. Now, do I believe that? No, but what I do believe is if you're gonna not want to have sex with your man should be able to step the fuck out. Your man should not be locked into a commitment of man. This is what concubines were originally for. But nobody really wants to have that conversation. Appreciate that, Jim Rat. It's because everybody is arguing on the women's terms. Like my channel, if I could communicate one thing with my channel to younger dudes or dudes in general, men in general, regardless of age, it's that you need to do what's in your best interest, period. And you need to be unapologetic about that. And if a chick is not doing within your best, is not trying to be in your best interest, then you need to deal with that accordingly. And you need to fucking take the morality out of the shit. Because that is not the game that's being played today in the United States of America. This is a very kill or be killed mentality. And if you niggas want to be weak and lean on morality in a face of people that are basically going to eat your ass, then quite frankly, you deserve to be eaten. You just do. Because you're volunteering to be a victim to the game. Black men have a tendency to use morality to basically hide their own lack of willingness to be cunning. And this is not the environment we created. This is an environment we're in. And we're the most vulnerable to it. And so this thing about enforcement, like this thing about like you need to be leaders without, like, man, that's bullshit. That shit does not work anywhere else. It doesn't, you know. Um and I think it's certain people, like, because what really inspired this was I was listening to some of Kevin Samuels' recent video, literally he did tonight, and it was one chick that she was talking about, I feel sorry for Brittany Renner because Brittany Renner she's lost hope that she's gonna find someone that is worth changing for. And the reality is that men cannot take that risk with you. Now, this is a chick that's been married for 4 years, to be fair, and this is a chick that got married at 23. But my thing is she's 30. You were 23. You were like, so having that mentality at 23 is different than being 30 with that mentality. You still had, at least by age, you still have more in your favor on that. Versus you don't understand, men are taking a risk, and marriage is like a relationship to women. And to be fair, she was talking about you choose to be married every day, and you do. But marriage is, there is no risk for women in marriage. The risk is all on the men. And this comes back to enforcement. Women can get a no fault. Think about marriage for a second. And think about the situation. Women can just do no fault divorce, and they get the benefits of potentially child support, alimony, which is greater benefits. A woman can get married, make more money. Let's say the dude is always making more money than her, and still, but she's not making that much. He's not making that much more money than her, and he still gets all the benefits, gets the kid, all of that. And that shit's gonna pull more money out of you in court than it's gonna pull out of her. There is no risk. There is no, as two adults. And so what you're essentially arguing is you're arguing that men have to bear all the risk with little reward. And it's like, do you hear what the fuck is coming out of your mouth when you say it? If you were to put this shit from a business standpoint, you would never take that deal. You would never invest in that stock, that corporation, that crypto. You would never see that on paper. But for women, we're just supposed to say fuck it because it's a bitch. And that's what I'm talking about. Dudes have to start saying this shit does not make sense. Fuck it. Not know why I need to put my fingers over my nose because it stinks and just do it anyway. And these will be the main niggas that will campaign so hard about what you're doing for the youth. And this is why I keep asking. So would you recommend, because a lot of the shit that really went left on Bernard shit was when I brought up financially transmitted diseases, and a lot of that was because of Jay Speed. Jay Speed wanted to insert himself into shit because we was actually getting somewhere. And he was like, well, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all are talking about financially transmitted diseases. Financially transmitted diseases is not meant for dudes that already have kids. It's meant as a kind of funny but serious saying to be a preventative mechanism. Get the lights up, y'all. Be a preventative mechanism for dudes to not have kids. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And you need to understand, and now granted, 53% of black men already don't have kids. But you still need to let these dudes know that one of the major reasons of compromising your ass is basically by way of you having a kid. You do not want to be a fucking sperm donor. And we got a lot of dudes that they maybe that's in that. Because then granted, and you still, just because that number's there doesn't mean you don't still need to hammer it. Now, granted, 30% of dudes are married, 53% of dudes don't have kids, so you account for pretty much 80%. But I still say it because it's still sound advice. That's not meant for dudes that and also for dudes that already have kids, it's a situation they are dealing with and they need to manage it. But that's not what that message for. But he wanted to basically take my shit and apply it to everything because it's really, with him, it's personal. He makes this shit personal. That's his problem. He makes this shit. And Jay Speed is typically not the nigga that a lot of dudes really bring that you a old ass nigga you fucked up talk to. So he really has no reason to make this shit personal, but he does. So it becomes, I gotta make Edward wrong. Fuck the logic, fuck the facts. I gotta do everything I can to throw egg on his face. And I'm like, nigga, how old are you? Like, how old are you? Like, are you fuck? That's why I asked them in the chat. I'm like, or the comments. I was like, under the video, nigga, why are you in this space? Because the pro black space does exist. And if you want to be in that situation where you not even, because Professor Black Truth is pro black. If you want to be on the pro black, let's ignore because there's the pro black side, and there's the one thing I'll give Jason Black credit for and Professor Black Truth. They're pro black, but they don't ignore feminism as an arm of white supremacy. A lot of pro blacks ignore, like Umar and them, or at least publicly, they ignore feminism as an arm of white supremacy. They like to pretend they absolve black. Like a lot of pro black women, a lot of black women are. I don't give a fuck if they're conservative. Dana has matriarchal tendencies. She may try to be a Republican or have conservative leanings. She's still matriarchal. And to me, feminism and matriarchy, it is different, but it's really a difference without a distinction without a difference. It's the same shit. And that's why a lot of black women lean democratic or lean feminist in the first place, because it's that gynocratical shit. That gynometry, as Nameless would put it. And you have dudes that they're running gynocentric equations trying to balance it out. Nigga, you can't. The only thing you can do, you can't change a bitch. And that's one of the things I was like, this chick, well, I want to be changed. I need a nigga. And because dudes buy into that shit. I need a nigga that's just so strong in his masculinity that I just get swept up in it. And I can't help but just be transformed under the shadow of his masculinity. That's not how it works. Especially like, I'll be fair. If you're a bitch that you're like 25, 24, 23 and under, so 18 to 23, that's the range where you might be able to get away with that bullshit. Even though you're still gonna lose more than you're gonna win on that. That mindset is how you fucking wind up like Chrissy. Playing with a nigga for 10 years and then you become 30 and now you're mad. Rather than doing it with social media, you were playing on and off with one nigga. Really only, and then when that nigga says he wants to marry you, now you're mad. Now, oh, he's a narcissist. That's how you blow your 20s. But if you're 23 to 18, I might be able to get. That's how you. Well, I got married, but I was young. That's how that shit happens. But when you get north of 30 pulling that bullshit, that shit doesn't work that way because you're set in your ways. The level a nigga needs to be fucking God. And even if he is, even if he's like young Pharaoh, because the thing is with these women, or when they say shit like that, what they're saying is, I need to be just so sexually turned on constantly. And dudes cannot man. That's why niggas talk about, well, you need pimp game. You need pimp game. Nigga, the average, like nigga, the above average man, fuck the average man. The average of the above percentile dudes can, like, there is no group in this world where nigga, black men are operating on a higher percentage of quote unquote pimp game than any other race in this country. White men are really trading off of white privilege. And as white privilege amongst manhood has lost its value, you see these white dudes and what they're doing. Nobody trades on that. Now, what dudes do trade on is violence and the threat of violence. That's what most people trade on. You need to negotiate because if we do it the real way is you don't have a choice. You're gonna be made to do what the fuck is said. That's what men really trade on. And it's really how it's supposed to be. But in the West, that's absolved from it. So then it becomes, we need to give you this carrot. This is why you got, and see, again, Duke was talking about, well, it's not responsible to tell men they need to make $100,000 so in order to get women. Well, let's define getting women, because a lot of these hoes are talking about that to sleep with. But if you're talking about literally getting married and having a sustainable thing, well, that's what these women are saying they want. So what else are you really talking about? That's what they're saying they want. So how is it irresponsible for the women, for men saying they need to rise to the level of what women, if you want a relationship? And so it's like it's like this shit doesn't balance out, yo. And it's because at the end, and the reason why it's wrong is not the real reason why it's wrong. The truth is, and then this is why when I said you date black women, and that makes sense, that's important. Because if you date mostly black women, then what that means is you're essentially arguing, and I would assume you're talking about African American women. Well, if you understand the statistics and everything, you're essentially arguing on their terms. It's like saying no matter what AT&T, no matter what AT&T does, I'm going to deal with them, even though you acknowledge AT&T is a shitty company. Even you have options, you refuse to take them because for whatever reason, you just want to deal with what you want to deal with. And then on the one hand, we're telling dudes they don't need to be elite when the women are saying that's all they want, even though they're bullshitting. This is confusing. And then we're talking about, oh, well, I promote I like any conversation that brings men and women together. The women don't want to come together unless they want something. Period. And when they get what they want, they're done. Well, that we can't have that message. That's an echo chamber. That's the truth. And we were saying that before Kevin had his fucking show. And his show only proved that. Well, that's not what the women are saying. Fine, give them a fucking mic and let's see what they say. That's Kevin's show. And they basically said it stronger than we ever did. And so now it becomes, well, it's irresponsible. Same thing with Fresh and then Fresh and Fit is just, what are the men doing if they're the younger guys, if they're responding to that shit? And then that blew up. Then it becomes, oh, well, Fresh and Fit is the worst thing in the world. I mean, the thing about it is, and then on top of that, because either one nigga, the alpha dude that broke into Fresh and Fit's house or their apart, whatever the fuck, their studio, whatever, he said, well, why don't you bring good girls up there? Why don't you bring, and shout out to him, I ain't gonna problem with him, but why don't you bring good girls? Why you gotta bring OnlyFans stars? Why don't you bring good girls out? I mean, good girls are gonna lie too. Let's define a good girl. Are we talking about women that are married? Because a lot of these hoes will talk a good game but still be doing the same shit. That's what nobody wants to talk about. A lot of these chicks that are quote unquote good girls want to be ran through just like the other bitches. It's the same shit. Like, why did you bring a lawyer up? Because they're on the same shit. Why don't you bring a nurse, a registered? They're on the same shit. Like, where is this whole so essentially what Fresh and Fit's job is to advertise the better women, because that's what, like, nigga, this shit is not, it's not, oh well, nigga, you're just chasing thoughts, so that's why you're getting thought results. No, 80% of the women are on thought shit. And 33% of the women are married. 30% of the women are married. And then 80% of divorces are activated by the women, meaning that the women that are married are generally the ones leaving the marriages. Like this is all, these are all statistically factual at this point. And then you're literally hearing women talk about they don't want to be married. And this is not just whores. You literally see women like in these relationships talking about they don't like being married. And these are not women that have been in like whole hell of a lot long marriages. And if they have, they would like, nigga, Jada don't want to be married and she's got an open marriage. Like, I don't know what the fuck you need to see. No, I just woke up, BGS. I went to sleep, woke up, and this is kind of me running my mouth, and then I'm about to go back to sleep. Like some of these niggas, they literally to be shot in the head, and then they'll wake up, and then Jesus will wake them up saying, welcome to heaven. Let me get the dude to usher you in, and you still trying to save that bitch. Well, nigga, maybe if I could just go back and alpha my way through it, she'll make a different decision. It's like, dude, you're dead. It's over. Congratulations, you made it to heaven. You need to leave that alone. That's over. But no, I need to come. I think I can save her. And he's like, nigga, what? Can I go to hell so I can save some of these chicks? That's what a lot of y'all sound like. And y'all deflect from that because y'all make it about Fresh and Fit. So it becomes, man, look, Fresh and Fit. They're impression. They're so impressionable on these young boys. Like they're fucking it up. I'm like, are you serious? They're fucking it up more than what? Than a public school system that they can't even read and write out of? Than their own mothers? The fuck? Yo, you want to lay all of that on Fresh and Fit? You act like what? The nigga, there's stands and they're this, they're that. So what? So I mean, how many? Like a lot of celebrities have most of. I'm not saying they're celebrities, but a lot of people have their stands. What are you talking about? They do that with Kevin too. And with Kevin, it's the opposite. Oh, well, Kevin, you're trying to get, because Kevin said it straight up in that same video. He said, I'm going to interview a whole bunch of motherfuckers y'all not going to think I should interview. Even the way he's probably going to approach it might mean he calms down a little bit. And niggas gonna be like, see, on the opposite side. See, he's not like soul provider. He's not being red pill. He's not telling him. I'm like, dude. Kevin has laid basically the red carpet for a lot of dudes that disagree with him. There's a lot of traffic to be had. Like one thing about Duke and Don, and I'm not gonna hate on him, Duke and Don generated 1 million views off of really critiquing Fresh and Fit. I mean, I'm not hating on that from a sales and getting your money standpoint. Y'all could do the same thing with Kevin. You don't have to, you can break down his argument. Like, I don't know why, like shit. I don't know why Soul Provider doesn't do that. He's all, fuck talking about carrots, and that's old news. Why don't you break down Kevin Samuel shit? Like if I'm not saying Soul doesn't have a right to, because Soul is Nigerian too, by the way, and he's on the opposite side of the spectrum. That's why I'm bringing him up, just to be fair. I don't want me to say, all Niger, like it ain't about that. I'm just saying the Nigerians don't be putting up with that bullshit like that. That's why I even brought up the Nigerian card. They don't be putting up with bitches acting out of line. They're not taught that, whether they're Igbo or Yoruba or whatever the third one is that I forget. Man, these open marriages, I don't give a fuck how much money. I'm like, bitch, you know what? You can leave and then give me the kids and you can have visit. Once I get enough money, it's like, yo, I can buy somebody to help me raise these kids. You can be fuck that. I'm not paying you child support. And so a provider can do reaction channels to a lot of stuff Kevin said. Just email Kevin and have an honest shit. You don't got, and hell, you don't even gotta, like, you can just play small clips of the shit. Don't just mirror the shit. There's ways to do shit in a way where you just find the points you want to make and that's it. And you could probably get a lot of views off of that, especially from a younger guy's standpoint. It is YouTube. Fuck fucking communicating with the hoes. Kerrison and them. Kerrison is old news. Kerrison's with a nigga now. She lost. She talked all that shit for 10 years. Only the wine. Only thing she got is some mongrel babies. And now she's what? X amount of years older. You left the dick. You can't look. Basically, Kerrison needs to be like a Thanos meme. All that shit you did and your failure brought you where? Back to me. Back to this dirt. Nobody gives a fuck. Well, Jim Rat, no, you say I'm not. Look, you that look. That's an opinion, and that is a valid one. But what I'm saying is, and a lot of dudes are like that. I get that perspective. Trust me, I've looked at a lot of these channels, and a lot of these channels, they really matter, but they really only have any kind of tracks. I mean, Red Supreme talks about this all the time, but he mainly focuses on panels. They mainly have traction because, quite frankly, they are going to completely what's trending, and then they have nothing else there. See, when I do my shit is gonna be layered. The trending shit is gonna bring people in, but the other stuff I'm gonna have too up under that. Shout out to OJ Ray for the 25, saying they're still good in her. Appreciate the $20 sponsorship. That's really what it is. And so as people in our space, we have to do a better job. We have to go get that traffic because that's where a lot of the action is when it comes to us putting out our talking points. We tend to get too much involved with what's going on in the manosphere rather than really breaking down our stuff and showing, look, this stuff has already been talked about. Like, I'm not saying that we can't have the conversation, but we've all, like, y'all are looking for conclusions. We've already come to them because we've seen these things happen in real time. So y'all are like trying to figure it out, talk about, well, man, and I'm not saying you can't self-improve, but at the end of the day, and this is why, like, again, when he said, well, a lot of like, this stuff that Ramil say, I agree with some of it, but say it's sus. Pump and dump is not sus. It's basically means, I said it before, I said it again, women that are for recreation, they're for recreation. Now, Duke was all like, yeah, man, because, I was running through these chicks and, I got one pregnant, so I just couldn't be make a woman a single mom. I just couldn't move like that. That's when Jay Spear was like, yeah, 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 I'm trying to be a hype man. The reality of the situation is, but you're a failed husband now. Dude, all you did was prolong the inevitable. Yeah, man, but my marriage wouldn't have ended if I wouldn't have, been so focused on my money and my kid. Are you serious? So, because you was focused on the protection and providing thing, nigga, do you realize if that's true as he says it is, which I have no reason to believe it, think of think of if his ex-wife would have called Jason Black, fuck Kevin, but called Jason Black and said that bullshit. What do you think Jason Black would have said? The reality is that chick you were fucking was one of them chicks you were running through, and you pulled, yeah, I shotgun marriage myself. That shit don't mean jack shit. You're not a better. Let us be clear here. Let's take Crystal and Carrison's, the father of her first child. Duke is not a better nigga than that nigga because you chose to marry the chick versus that dude not choosing to marry the chick. When he told that chick up front he didn't want to have a kid. You're not a better nigga. That's the problem. A lot of y'all think y'all, and shout out to Bernard, because I know Bernard doesn't think this, and I know a lot of dudes in our space don't think this. Fantastic, damn sure don't think this. You are not a better nigga because you got married than a nigga that didn't. And this goes back to the other nigga that Bernard was talking to, that he osmosis, and I think is his name, and he is not married, but he's with a single mother. And I don't even think Duke would agree with that shit either, by the way. But you're not a better nigga because you married a bitch if you get divorced. I think something like, shout out to Kevin, but Kevin said he's been married a total of what, 4 or 5 years, and that's split in 2 different marriages. To me, you might as well not have been married. I mean, shit. I mean, that shit's on some fucking Las Vegas shit. If we're gonna be honest about it, if we're gonna be honest about it, and we got dudes like Black Huru who's been married like 20, 25 years that will tell you did this shit. So, and now I'm gonna tell you, Black Huru is representative of dudes that I know. They ain't been married that long, but they are married, and they tell like a lot. You'd be surprised how many older black men are red pill that they get it that are married, yo. I hate when niggas are saying, huh? What you know what, nigga? You gonna be timed out just on GP. I hate when motherfuckers just randomly come in here and they be like, LOL, huh? It's like, okay, well, you don't need to be here. I know if this stuff is too real for your ass, then why don't you see your ass out? I hate when motherfuckers come in, LOL, huh? What? Okay, well, I get, this shit is too highbrow for you and you're going stupid. So let me help you out by getting you out of here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna do that, play by play of because I haven't seen the video. I'm curious what facts. Average marriage only lasts 7 to 8 years, probably lower in the next decade. Absolutely. Let me get rid of this Ashley bitch because I don't know what that is. Because I saw that on my last stream. That is what it is, Vince. And what have I told you about that? I don't nigga, just like I don't give a fuck about your guilt. A lot of dudes, they do. They feel, yeah, man, I was running through these bitches. I was one of the fuck boys that these chicks are talking about. So I feel bad. Like, shut the fuck up. You act like you weren't raping these chicks. These chicks, these are the same chicks talking about every woman should have a hoe phase. And that's one thing Kevin was talking about. Kevin said Brittany could say what she want to say for her, but the problem is you all get in that chorus and you all are influencing women to do shit that's really not in their best interest. They not built, and Brittany Renner, to be fair, ain't built like what she says. Ain't nobody really looking at her past. I know BGS says that she comes from the trailer park. I don't know if her mom is one of them lower class white women. I think that's what he's alluding to. And those would be some of the craziest bullshit. Because then you got the Mitch shit and the Britney Spears shit, crazy shit running around. And if you really look at Britney when Britney was younger, the truth is Britney wouldn't have been Britney was not attractive. She wasn't. Britney was one of them like ugly duckling light skinned bitches that kind of grew in this shit. And that's one of the reasons probably why she felt the way. Brittany Renner was one of them chicks that did not get picked when she was in high school. And as a result, when she got older and she looked good, she had this like vendetta against men because of that. Because she saw the rejection side of it. I've seen women like that where they hate men because they're like, well, you only like me because I grew into my beauty. So da 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 da. Yeah, you would have used me, so I'ma use you because I know how you niggas are. Like that's that bullshit. So anyway, that's the going back to the cops again. Black men want there's different forms of alpha your way through it. And that's really what dudes are saying. And it's not about alpha your way through it, aka put yourself in a position where you can write your own rules. What folks are essentially saying is alpha your accept the system as it is. Like what he said, yeah, man, these women on some demon shit, but that don't matter. You supposed to still get through it because that's what a man does. And that is what he said, because when he said it's more men's fault, and the first answer and the only answer he gave was because men are the leaders. Well, part of leadership, well, first of all, when I hear that, and then I hear, well, I only date black women. No, you lead in choice too. You choose the people you need to lead. This is not some shit where you're just assigned somebody and then you gotta lead them, and then you're. This isn't a fucking bad. See, y'all want to be leaders like a like. So what's the difference between what's the difference between an NBA coach and a college coach? A college coach gets to recruit their team. An NBA coach has to deal with the team they're already given. And essentially, what you want is, and then who's easier to deal with, college players or NBA players? Everybody says college players. And essentially, black men want to base leadership on shit that that's not how that works. And that's the problem. A lot of dudes, they really just want to deal with black women, but they don't know how to deal, like make they know, like, black women are off the goddamn chain. So as a result, what they essentially done is they've accepted the reality of the situation, and they get mad when other people say you don't got to accept that. Because truth be told, one of the things that doesn't get talked about with Fresh and Fit is usually the black bitches are the ones that usually, when shit pops off, it's always usually the black bitches in the mix. It's not always them. It's all like one or two. There's like times where they're not all. It's like one of them that's not in the mix, but then it's usually multiple. But truth be told, they don't even have a lot of black women on their show. Could you imagine if that was a show with just black women on there, how that shit would pop the fuck off? Yeah, man, code. And that's why, like, again, a lot of these, like, you see, no, she didn't. If you look at her when she had a little bit of zits and stuff, like, I'm telling you, go look at her younger pictures. Like, Brittany Renner wasn't hitting on shit. And even today, Brittany Renner, really what it is she a light skinned bitch with an ass. That's really it. That's she a mulatto bitch with an ass. That's it. I remember that black women who said Kevin last year the younger women should have experienced a whole phase. Exactly. But you got niggas out here today. Remember, this is post 2021 on some I'm guilty, because I'm fucking these hoes shit. These bitches want to be fucked. And that's why when people be talking about Ramil is wrong on the pump and dump shit. No, he's not. He's saying hoes that want to be used for recreation and concubine activities. Even Jason Black says that. That's what you're going to be used for, because that's how you show up and what you volunteer for. This is why that twerking shit is important. You got people like JSP talking about, yeah, man, niggas got a dry dick. No, dumbass. If you're showing up like a hoe, don't get mad if you get treated like one. And we're talking about bitches that are basically twerking out. They're busting a twerk out. Like, are you serious? Yeah, man, that's what they do now. Okay, well, so because that's what they do now, it's cool. Y'all would never, like, if dudes were sitting there smacking bitches, well, that's what they do now. Y'all wouldn't accept that. See, they use that because they want to find a way to make an excuse for for a bitch. That's that white woman do it too bullshit. They want to find a way to make an excuse for what women do. And that's not leading. Well, yeah, man, that's what they do now. So you gotta accept it. Okay, so is that what you deal with your wife? Hell no. So why would you tell other dudes? Why would you say other dudes need to accept some shit that you didn't pick? How does that make sense? And these are the niggas that'll try to come, like George Boy, to come in here and try to tell us what the fuck we shouldn't say. Because what it really is and there's a reason why I'm bringing J Speed up, because that's why J Speed got mad at BGS that one time. There is a script that these niggas expect black men to push, because we just gonna pretend this shit is like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's how these niggas, and they know that shit doesn't make no sense, but they still want to do it because they feel a certain type of way about it. You got women actively telling other women that they should have a whole face. And then on the opposite side, you got niggas. And keep in mind, these are niggas that are pre-qualified, that they got that survivor's guilt. Man, nigga, these hoes chose me, so I owe these hoes. And they'll run through it's just like niggas selling dope. And they'll sell dope in the community and then be the very niggas to try to tell you what you shouldn't do and what you should do for the community because they think they got the street credibility. It's that same goofy ass bullshit. She did go hard in the gym, but that's what it is. And the truth is, if Brittany Renner would have stuck with the fitness model thing and maybe flirted a little bit with a thoughtry, but not really wild out with it, Brittany Renner would probably be a much more credible influencer. She made, straight up. But Brittany Renner wanted to, basically go full hoe. And now what she wants to do is tell me, she wants men to accept that shit. That's really what that's about. That's really what all that's about. And there's too many dudes that want to negotiate with terrorists. And that's what I'm gonna start calling you niggas. The negotiate. Y'all are those niggas. You're that German chancellor before I forget the chancellor that ended up like being the chancellor during World War II. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. You the motherfucker before him you're Neville. You're the dude before him that wanted to negotiate with Hitler. And you let Hitler get all that strength because you wanted to talk to him. You that dude that you all are those type of niggas that y'all want to negotiate. Y'all want to negotiate with these motherfuckers too much. And my thing is, you need to just pick what's in your best interest. Well, yeah, man, I pick black women. Well, you're not a better nigga because you decide to deal with just black women. That doesn't make you a better nigga. And a lot of dudes will say these things because that's really what they're trying to communicate. Yeah, nigga, I stayed. That's why in the community it gets this like aura of you're weak if you leave. If you don't deal with this Cleon shit, you're weak. So a lot of you all are low key validating the same shit y'all want to talk about. Sure, you acknowledge, yeah, there's some demon shit, but ultimately you still validate it. Just because you acknowledge it don't mean shit. And that's another thing, man. It's like, yo, I'm in the black manosphere, which means I'm talking about black issues. Really, what them white boys are dealing with is really not of really any of my concern. This doesn't mean my audience might not be more diversified down the road, but what I'm saying is like what black men are doing with with non-black women is really not my concern. That's not really what I'm talking about because that's outside of community parameters. So when people try to take what Fresh and Fit does, and keep in mind, most of Fresh and Fit's audience is not black. So it's kind of like, dude, why do you care so much about non-black men and what they are paying attention to? Because when you go so hard at Fresh and Fit, that's you also got to account for what their audience is. And then even if 20% of their audience is under 18, it's like, nigga, stop trying to act like you really give a fuck about these. Man, they're just so impressionable and they don't know. And we have to save them because they don't understand. I'm like, these dudes went to high school with these white bitches talking about, I hooked up with Trey and Trevor and Ronald and Donovan and Corey and the football team. We hooked up. I'm like, bitch, you say you hooked up like you had a hug. Like you hugged the nigga. You said like you hugged like five different dudes. We hooked up. 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 And then it's like these dudes see that shit. And then it's like, well, you're keeping them in red pill rage. You're keeping them in a lot of these motherfuckers in red pill rage because white privilege don't trade on what it used to trade on. Yeah, Jim Red, I agree. And that's why, when people say it's basic based on people that's our age. If you ain't had life experience and yeah, man. But it's kind of like, don't try to bring them more. Like, you can critique them all you want to, but don't bring them more. Because that's one thing that I get off the bus with Spencer on. When Spencer start trying to say, oh, Fresh and Fit is misogynist and all of that. Okay, well, why are them bitches on there then? Because they clearly don't see it as that. We hooked up. And I'm like, yo, y'all say that shit like, so basically hooked up means you sucked his dick and fucked. So stop trying to make it sound like something it's not. Like for real. Like and like I mean, and I say that because that's how like dudes, you're just supposed to pretend that doesn't mean that she fucked with somebody. That's just supposed to mean like they try to say it in a way where like their slut card is like absolved or something. And I'm not here, yeah, man, a dry dick. No, dude. It's like I'm counting the miles. I'm not about to sit here and say, well, a bitch is out here twerking out in public. Like when I say in public, I'm talking about tables and shit. I'm just supposed to, oh, that's a bitch I want to be the mother of my child. Like, are you serious? This is how these like I'm thinking about. So you want your son's mother doing that, and then her saying, well, nigga, you got a dry dick. This is how stupid these people are. I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck about like a lot of people talk shit about Fresh and Fit because it drives views. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. If I didn't give a fuck about the trolls, I'd probably do it. Because I'm gonna tell you, what did I tell you all? Like one of the things, if you really want to grow a channel, when Kwame Brown was hot, and he still drives views now, but when Kwame Brown was hot, that Hassan dude, Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, whatever trending news topic is of the day, you deal. There's certain people that it's like they you could jump on them for like a month. And so you'll have trending news, then you have certain people that are like in your go-to people. O'Shea does this. Well, he'll keep going back to a topic, and go at it at a different angle. That's how you drive YouTube. And a lot of folks, it's like, oh, I want to be right. Or I want, like, nigga, you keeping it real on YouTube. Come on, man. Like, do you want to drive a channel or not? Because the thing is, when you're driving a channel, it's not just about views. It's also about getting more authority so you can get access to the subscribership. And then, you can always, this is what the Patreon's for. Y'all won't keep it real content. That's what the Patreon's going to be for. The YouTube shit is to attract the audience. The YouTube shit, like I have other platforms. So if nigga want to be nigga, I just need the real. Okay, that's what Patreon's for. And my Patreon's public. Fresh and Fit are white manosphere. But that don't mean I can't drive these views, and that don't mean they ain't got no black dudes that I could attract. But at the end of the day, that's another thing too. A lot of folks, like, shout out to O'Shea for getting to 201,000 subscribers, and that's on mainly a black audience. But the thing about it is, the higher some of y'all, like, dudes are trying to say the only people I want to listen to me is black men. Well, the truth is, if you raise your profile high enough, then you can sit there and go after the black male audience. You'll have a better, if you're, the more subscribers and the more views you're generating, the greater ability in the black YouTube sector you'll get of actually getting black people, because you'll have more, your channel will have more pull in the algorithm. That's a strategy too. And I think what it is a lot of dudes, what they want is just like they want to grow purely on black men. And I'm not saying that you make content that caters to non-black people. What I'm saying is there's a lot of shit we do to having BGS knows that there's a lot of shit that even when he does, there was a lot of white dudes that were over here dealing with it. People really do try to defend the twerking and pub. Yeah, and they claim to be pro-black. They claim to be pro-black. And what they'll try to do is defend it, like Jay Speed was trying to defend. Because the thing about Jay Speed is Jay Speed will try to defend. He does this Nation Islam, I'm going to defend the black woman's honor bullshit. And it's like, nigga, that shit only applies if I'm talking about a female in the nation. You're not supposed to be out here trying to defend bitches that are not in the nation like that. Not like that. That should be, that is what it is. They ain't on the contract. So for you to sit here talking about random hoes twerking and then because no, other races of women do not allow the face of their group to be represented like that. Black women do. Other races of women don't circle the wagons around their fuckery, women, and make them look bad like black women do. That's a fact. Anybody that wants to try to sit there and debate that, where you're just at this point trying to protect women just cuz. So he always wants to turn it around and he really want to say, nigga, you ain't shit, so you shouldn't say shit. That's really what he wants to do under the guise of protecting black women. That's my problem with a lot of what he talks. So every time he calls, it's like he's drunk or some shit where he just wants to run interference. It's like nigga, you're an agent. You're doing this on Bernard's show. Bernard's show don't even come that hard. I'm like, nigga, could you imagine that nigga calling Minister Jap? I'm like, nigga, you got people out here like Minister or shit. Could you imagine him having a conversation with David Carroll? Yeah, they don't. You're right, Jim Rat. With the trolling, they don't understand that shit. Because the truth is, you trolling. I mean, Fresh and Fit could be assholes and say only members and super chats are allowed to speak. That's how they would deal with that. And then they just say, look, the unlisted pay. I mean, they're big enough where they could pull that. But at the end of the day, it does. They don't care. Shout out to BGS. No, J Speed knows better, which is another reason why J Speed pisses me off. J Speed, remember J Speed in LA too, just like BJ. J Speed knows better, but J Speed believes in lying to men, and he tries to oh man, you saying that you ain't giving niggas hope. This guy kids, nigga. When it comes to kids, when it comes to the child support shit, I refer people to Mr. Palmer, Angry Man, whoever is in that business, and people know that. So, oh man, you ain't giving these niggas hope. First of all, these niggas are not. I'm not the nigga you come to for hope. That's not me. Hell, none of us. Most of the Igmores are not the hope place. So like what? So what the fuck, nigga? We have never nigga. The black manosphere is not in the business of selling you hope. Oh, I gotta do the eyes of an angel. I might start. I need to start practicing my meme game because I actually think I could do something with that. Man, I ain't even gonna chart like we ain't even gonna get into the generational bullshit. Y'all always like to sneak that shit in there. Y'all love that shit. We gonna have niggas 55 years old sooner or later talking about the old generation. Watch Jason Black and them. Why? There's no point even bringing her up. Like at the end of the day, only reason I knew who the fuck she was is because the Red Supreme used her to try to troll these hoes. And at the end of the day, whatever. Yeah, but that's how these niggas act. Cause I'll troll nigga, I can troll. I just choose not to. Because I want to bring a seriousness. But the Black Manosphere has never been a place for hope. Like, I don't know. We never advertise ourselves as the hope fucking this is where that's never been on the fucking menu. Like, what are you talking? That's like going to McDonald's and wanting spaghetti. We tell you the truth. Hope is some blue pill shit. Nigga, hope goes all the way against red pill. Because the question is hope versus the truth. Do you want hope or do you want the truth? That's the blue pill. That's the red pill. That's Morpheus could have said that to Neo. Neo, do you want hope or do you want the truth? Now you see in that recent trailer, Neo ran away from that red pill. He said, "Nah, nigga, I know what that goes. I want the hope." Well, the problem with memes, the thing about well, it's not a problem. It's just you gotta like. There's like some good. I gotta start looking at some Instagram channels because the thing about it, the problem with the red pill content is the red pill content. It's a large space for it, but it's you gotta wrap this shit around shit. You really do. All pill colors. There's only two pills that count: red and blue. Blue is representative of people that want to believe in the system no matter what the system does. Red is being aware. And then I'd say secondarily, there's purple and black. Outside of that, everything else is just marketing. Everything else is just niggas one. Man, what about the white pill? Nigga, I represent the white pill. You fucking stupid. What's the white pill? The white pill is the real red pill, nigga. It's the real red pill. Okay. BGS. Oh, I mean, not BGS. Jason Black. Fuck them pills. I represent the black book, nigga. The black book. I'm like, oh my God. So that's what we're doing. We're marketing now. And then you got all this confusion. But yeah, that's what it is. And so what it is now is these new motherfuckers that don't know shit. They come on to YouTube thinking all these pills matter. All that shit, honestly, that shit should have been stomped the fuck out. Like for instance, the black pill shit. The truth is, 95%. Not, I really think 99, but I'm gonna say 90, like 19 out of 20 people, when they say they're black pill, they're really more in blue pill despair. They could to them when they talk about black pill, what it means is I'm super red pill. Now white pill is supposed to be I'm red pill, but I'm real red pill. Oh my God. Okay. Make sure y'all get the likes up. Let's get them above 50. That's what it is. Niggas, every channel is gonna have its own pill. Most of these motherfuckers don't even know what MGTOW, like they don't really understand what MGTOW is. And what it really is, this is what it's really about. Here's the problem, and this is another thing, and I said this on Bernard's stream. The problem is what you essentially have is you have dudes that they wanna basically they want it both ways. They want to be red pill and blue pill at the same time. They want to believe in the system because being red pill is some lonely shit. That's what a lot of people don't understand or they don't want to accept. They want to really be awake and asleep at the same time. They want to believe in the hope and the promise that they'll find a bitch that's not going to be on what they on. Now remember, this is post 2020. This is not 2008. This is not 2007. This is post 2020. They're talking this bullshit. So meaning women have never been more transparent with their fuckery as massive a scale as they've had than they've been now. Yet even in this environment, basically, I'm gonna start calling these niggas. This is the Will Smith virus. Basically, niggas that want to, like, when Will Smith talks all about that empowerment shit, when it comes to relationship, he just gives away the story. That's essentially what a lot of these dudes are doing. They want it both ways. They don't want to make a choice. That's what it is. So they want to be in purgatory, where the possibility of everything. And if I just they it's like Man of Steel, Superman, the old Superman versus Man of Steel. They still want the magic, but they want to believe in the magic while trying to move and be aware. And so even if they're not actively doing the dumb shit, they want to sell the dumb shit to other people because it just feels good. And I've always been about, even before I came in this space, I've always been about, I'd rather know the truth and deal with the brutal truth than deal with some fake. I've always been that way. I'd rather know. Crypto pill, nigga. Alt pill. Like it's marketing. It's marketing. It's people, and it gets to the point where you're just splitting hairs and you're sowing confusion. And white, and this shit is just another remix. Alpha your way through it, the remix. Remember that thing with, what's that dude's name that real famous, PD Pablo, and he did that song North Carolina, and then they had like 10 different remixes to it. Be like, the whole USA, come on and wake up, take a shot off, just like something like a helicopter. The United Kingdom, come on and raise. Is there this who us? I'm like, yo, I remember that shit. Them niggas, these niggas in North Carolina, they really thought that shit was something. They really, and PD Pablo's like 5'2", so shout out to short niggas. I'm not mad. He wrote that shit, and then like, oh wow, come on. Like the next thing you know, the next remix gonna be like, Planet Earth, come on and raise up, take it off, spinning like a helicopter. Mars, come on and raise up. This is where you are. This is what for who? Us. The Milky Way. Come on. This is where we are now. And at the end of the day, man, I ain't got no problems with the cards falling where they may. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm not doing this bullshit for free no more. I'm going for them views. And then for the people that want the real information will be on the Patreon, and it's gonna be public. The Cosby, the Cosby pill. Nigga, Vince, you wow, Vince, you really wow, Vince, man, too soon. I'm about to screenshot that. That shit is funny as fuck. The Cosby pill. All that matters is what she remembers. Nigga, that shit would be funny if dudes weren't willing to take the hit for that. Shout out to Glendon Cameron. The Glendon pill. Xanatos Clutch. The light pill. All that matters is that paper bag. What, like Xanatos Clutch, the light pill. All that matters is what side of the paper bag you're on. Or all that matters is, are you on the right, the light pill? Are you on the right side of the paper bag? Yo, that'd be a good meme in itself. This the strag pill. Xanatos. You can't straight up say light skin supremacy. You gotta be sneaky with it, Xanatos. You can't make it too easy on them. Me, Xanatos, mediocre tutorial reviews, Minister Jap, the light pill. Yes, I have heard of her. She was in my Discord for a brief time. Or what we'll call it, Xanatos, is Litecoin. We'll just steal that name, Litecoin. The gamer pill. The Madden pill, yo, nigga. I'm part of the Madden pill, nigga. The NBA, the Madden pill. Yeah, Petty is shorter than Kevin Hart. Y'all niggas be pushing the white pill, be low key pushing some white supremacy. And he dumbass nigga, the white pill, nigga. Richard Spencer is I'm white pill. And has some black niggas talk about, yeah, man, I'm white pill, yo. Nigga, you dumb. Go have some new niggas talk about, nigga, I'm black pill, nigga, because I'm pro black, yo. Nigga. Niggas gonna do. I mean, this shit is just and whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't, because like shit. Cause I'm gonna speak that real shit, but at the end of the day, I might as well get paid for it. I mean, niggas want to just make up anything. Niggas want to play Alice in Wonderland and shit. The whole pill, nigga. I'm dick pill, pump and dump. The rainbow pill coming out soon. I mean, these niggas. I mean, that's not the pills. The pills were never for that. Xanax, as long as Litecoin logo isn't Drake, I don't want my crypto crash by roasting. Nigga, she was kicked out. Or I personally escorted her out of my. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, cause a lot of these chicks they don't understand. They all, and that's the thing with the women. It's like, yeah, we know everybody, and we can just disagree. They're disagreeing, and then there is. I'm not gonna be associated with you, and a lot of these women they want to be associated with certain bitches and not deal with the collateral damage of that and whatever. That's why I don't even deal with them over there, yo. I mean, I don't even know who the fuck Bossy Babe is, so I don't give a fuck about them. Because the thing about it is, those women don't go over there to. Women go over there to get their emotions stroked out. They don't go over there to actually get a problem solved. That's why a lot of them will try to find their way over here because they know them hoes. Them hoes are not talking. Their logic is them bitches over there are not talking logic. They are not talking a solution to a problem. All they're doing is basically scissoring emotionally. They're basically scissoring with each other emotionally. That is all they're doing. I mean, a lot of these women, like, first of all, K Dot, why are you bringing her up here? I don't give a fuck about her. She's just another confused bitch. The end. Like, like nobody like we don't need to do a deep dive. Like just like what David Carroll says, being a black woman is a mental illness. Sometimes you just need to charge it to that. Xanatos, obsidian coin, accepted everywhere but the prom. The Donovan pill, lay that motherfucker out. The Donovan pill, strike first. He said the last $2. That sounds like a nigga going on the DR. These last $2. I don't give a fuck. Her dad, that says a lot. So your dad's black, but you wind up with a that says a lot about her dad. But you want like again, I don't give a fuck. Why are you K dot, you keep bringing her up. I've said like twice. Why are you I don't understand that. I told you all about listening to these bitches, yo. Y'all just can't stay over there. Anyway, all right, man. Y'all got a late night. What do you mean when you say here? You mean on a lot of y'all niggas, I swear, what y'all really want to say is I don't understand why she's on YouTube. Y'all really want to regulate people being on YouTube. Like, I swear y'all do. Why is she even here? What are you talking about here? Nobody knew who this person was until you brought him up. What are you talking about in this? Yo, I swear, y'all niggas got to do more than just saying motherfuckers are in this space. Cause that is like a go-to y'all love going to. Why are they in this space? So I guess YouTube is this space now. Because y'all have like stretched that shit out for real. Nigga, you have okay. So I'm gonna ask you this, K Dot. What channel in this space have you seen her on for you to say that? Why are you changing the subject, Kate? I'd ask you a simple question. What space have you seen her on? What panel? What for you to say that? I'm curious because you said in this space. All I saw was she wound up in my Discord, and them niggas were asking me to keep her in when I escorted her out. I said, "Yeah, this not gonna work." I'm waiting. Dude, I'm not asking you the $1 million question for who wants to win a millionaire. This nigga trying to phone a friend. You said Black Skin is amazing. That's the channel name. I don't know who the fuck Black Skin is. I don't know who the fuck that is. So that's why that doesn't count as a channel name. Ain't nobody named Black Skin in the Black Manosphere. I don't and I ain't never heard of that. Are we making up names now? I'm asking. Because you brought her up out of nowhere, and so I'm assuming you saw her on a panel or some shit, kind of like that other light skinned chick that was on Bernard Riley, that Sandra chick, because she was doing the same shit. She that other chick you talk about was doing. I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm this. I'm this. Like we just like we known to just slap bitches at a moment's notice. That may be where the Jews be, where you can't have a gun. Ain't nowhere where the niggas are, you can't have a gun. I don't know who this black skin is, and you know good and well I've never mentioned that person on black skin. Who the fuck is like? Do any who else knows who this black skin person is? Cause that sound like some shit y'all just made up. Nigga, what's your channel? Nigga, my channel's black skin. What? Very original. A little on the nose, don't you think? Shout out to Hawkeye. I gotta tell you, that Kate Bishop, what's her name? Haley Steinfeld. That's a that's a very good clinic as to how you deal with a female character. I know niggas and people are mad about Hawkeye ain't getting enough screen time. Man, please, Jeremy Renner be all right. Oh, so yeah, so basically the why is Jessica in this space? Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so basically, BGS, this ain't even on Pluto. This is on like the outer rings of outer the asteroids or the outskirts of the solar system. That every once in a while they have a orbit that brings them into the inner solar system, and then that counts as being in this space. No, I haven't seen Spider Man. No spoilers. I swear to God, if you put spoilers, I'm blocking you, and you will not be unblocked. Because niggas are trying to put spoilers out on YouTube, and I'm like, you hoe ass niggas. And I swear to God, if I wanted somebody to see my movie, I'd be like, put them spoilers out to get them motherfuckers to see it quick. Oh, that's the whole channel. Black skin is amazing. A little on the nose. A little on the nose, don't you think? Okay, so I mean, that's not come on, man. Like, y'all, like, come on, dude. Like, really, man. That's nobody knows this person and come on, man. I ain't even watching spoiler free reviews. I'm not like I want to see the movie. I'm because I could have saw it because that's the thing. We get movies on Thursdays, so they had a lot of theaters. I could have saw it there. I just didn't feel like it. I like with COVID and all that. It's like nigga, I'm probably gonna wait for the weekend, and I don't know. K dot. It's cool. I don't. K dot is doing it in the context of the conversation, and K dot is not really known for that, so it's fine. I'm gonna check the channel out though. See what the fuck you talk about. Yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck about these bitches. Like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about somebody like Pink Book or Kendra. I try to talk with people who have something constructive to say. Because I learned that shit from Game Changer. A lot of these chicks, they think this is a game, and they come on here with that social bullshit. And I learned that shit from Game Changer. That's why if you notice, I don't let a lot of these females, nah, man, not on YouTube, because a lot of y'all will fuck up like exotic was united and da da da. It's like nigga, like nigga, I dealt with all that back when I was in the Coliseum and we were going back and forth for Christy in Paris. I do not give a fuck about what these because all these chicks, man, please let the damn reality on the ground deal with their ass. I'm not having endless because the truth is they don't have an audience that I want at all. Like is at all. I don't want none of them motherfuckers over here. That fresh if You give a fuck about these hoes. Like a lot of these chicks, because you gotta realize that I want you to think about this. Why would somebody like that, the chick you keep mentioning, why would she even is she okay, if she's with a white man, I want you to think about this. If she's with a man that's white and half Asian, why in the fuck would she even be in a black male space? Why would she find her way in a black male Discord? I don't understand that. Because her dad's black? And that's the thing that kills me. It's kind of like, why are you even? Because most of us still date black women, or at the very least, we're black men. So you're mixed, which means you really don't have no real ties. She should be over there with feminine fancy. But the point, K dot, is like, okay, but they're not. But the thing is, it's like you're asking me about anybody else in the sphere. That's what, and somebody that you know I don't associate with. I don't know who you're talking about. This isn't like Bernard Riley shit. Bernard Riley, Art of Itmore, Honor Style, BGS, fucking Obsidian, anybody that you know I'm known to deal with. All right, y'all. I done talked this shit. I gave y'all an hour and a half. Shout out to OJ Ray for sponsoring the stream, which is why I gave y'all an hour and a half. So y'all can thank him for the $20 cash app. Shout out to Xanatos for the $5, because that counts too. As well. YouTube also thanks you, for taking a little bit off the top like they always do. Said we not gonna promote you hoe ass niggas, but if you hoe ass niggas are gonna donate, we'll take 30%, nigga. Anyway, these servers are not gonna pay for themselves to promote this feminism, nigga. I don't know about all that. I know I find it funny. I will end the video with this. I find it funny that Zendaya is talking shit about the short thing, because they've been really like coming at Zendaya like Tom Holland low key, like you short ass nigga, but Zendaya's fine tissue. Don't do that. But whatever. That's funny. But anyway, y'all, it's been great. With that being said, no, absolutely. But I'm not gonna hate. Shout out to you. Shout out to all the super chats. But when them niggas be giving $500, YouTube be like, "Yep, I got you." Anyway, peace out, y'all. I'll deal with y'all later today. With that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.